What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. We're going to do something a little different today. What I want to do is kind of show you some tips and tricks that I think have helped me out in the squat. Maybe some variations of stuff, just explaining something a little more in depth. So it's going to be somewhat of an informative video. Now I know a lot of the normal types of videos I do are a vlog, lifting vlog, my own kind of progress, just choking. But every now and then I switch it up. I love doing vlogs, I love showing my own progress, but sometimes I just want to actually give you some tips. So if you like this, leave it a thumbs up. I'm basically going to walk you through different stances, so whether it be the wide stance, narrow stance, kind of in between. I'm going to talk about like what knee sleeves I use. I'm going to talk about wrist wraps, why I use them, and kind of show you a little more in depth of like the reasoning behind it. So this is going to be focused more around low bar squat. So again, I hope you found this video informative. Again, I do never consider myself an expert at this. I'm always learning, always exploring different things throughout my training. But it's very good to get a lot of different opinions, watch different videos, watch different people's choices on how they do their movements. So enjoy this. Hope it helps your squat. Leave a comment down below and let us begin. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to talk about in this video is going to be knee sleeves. I use Ray-Ban knee sleeves. Now these are about $40 a piece on Amazon. You have to buy them individually. They don't sell them as a pair, at least on Amazon, so it's about 80 bucks. And I honestly say that the knee sleeves I would say knee sleeves and my Inzer belt are my absolute favorite kind of lifting accessories. What this is going to do is going to keep the synovial fluid around your knee joints. It's going to keep it warm. So basically it allows for better kind of fluid motion, fluid movement in your knees. It's just kind of preventive maintenance. I personally love them. You feel the heat around your knee, and I absolutely would recommend these to everyone. Now we're going to talk about feet placement. There's a lot of different variations of this. As you see, you can kind of do an in-between where you're not too wide, not too narrow. You can do a narrow stance. You can point your feet in. You can point your toes out. That's going to be really dependent on you. Or you can go completely into a wide stance. This is something that I have been playing around with for many, many squat sessions, and I definitely think you should as well. Don't automatically assume that one is the best. I prefer a wider stance for low bar, but I know that people like Matt Ogus, who does high bar, he does a very narrow stance like this. For high bar, I personally enjoy a more narrow stance than when I do low bar. Okay, now you're going to see some mobility, which I normally don't show because I don't really do a lot of it. Sometimes if my hips are tight or if I feel like I kind of want to pop my hip joints a little bit, I will do this movement right here. And you just alternate kicking back and forth. I'm not sure the exact name of this, but just kicks. If someone throws a soccer ball at you, then you'll be ready for it. But this really loosens up my hips, my hip joints. It'll basically make your hips pop, or I personally do, and I really like the way it feels. I would honestly say I only do this maybe every other squat session. I only do about a couple sets of 10, but try it out if you've ever had tight hips and see what you think. Now on to the warm-up. I've done videos on this, and I'm not going to show you every single set, but basically my goal is to work up to 370 pounds. Now, your warm-ups are going to be relative to how much weight you're lifting, so whatever I warm up may not be the same as what everyone else warms up, but I personally think that you should do pretty standard jumps in your warm-ups even as you progress. So I could only squat 305 a couple, maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago when I started Jim Wendler 531, and now I'm up to about a 430 squat, and I was still warm up the same way. Just because I have jumped in my final workouts does not mean that I jump from a 225 to a 315. Again, some people may do this, but I've always done 135, 185, 225, 275, 315, and then from there I'll make less incremental. I'll make incremental jumps because the weight is getting progressively harder. I do not throw a belt on until 315, which I will talk about. But really, when you're squatting, the entire goal is to open up the hips, and you should be acting as if you are trying to push your knees outwards. I don't always do this, and again, I think squats are something you will be practicing and perfecting through your entire lifting career, so don't get upset if you can't master it your first try. Okay, so 315 is when I'm going to put on a belt and my wrist straps. I do specifically low bar, and wrist straps are something that is a lifesaver. If I get to 315 and start doing sets 315 without my wrist straps, and these are the multi-purpose gangster wraps from howmuchyoubench.net, it destroys my wrist. Because I put the bar so far down on my back, you know, my wrist angles are extreme, and as little as you might think these wrist straps will help, they significantly will alleviate any sort of wrist pain or discomfort while doing low bar squats, as I have found. I throw the belt on at 315 because that is what I've always done. I like at 315 to start doing the belt. If you notice, I also sometimes I will do a grip with my thumb over the bar, sometimes I do it under. Here's a great example of how far cocked back my wrists are. They're almost as you know, laid back as if I was doing a front squat. So definitely use wrist straps, I would say, if you're doing low bar. Now, bar placement is going to be, again, something that is going to be individual to the individual. I personally do it pretty low on my back, and I think actually because I scrape my back up so much, I believe it's because the bar is kind of rolling in my hands, and I'll either roll it up, roll it down. If it was staying very stagnant, I don't think it would cut my back up, but bar placement is going to be, again, up to you, what's comfortable for you. As you progressively get into your heavier sets, obviously I am doing more lower rep types of volume, so sets of 2, sets of 3, sometimes it'll be AMRAP. But again, you should be always focusing on trying to push your knees out. You'll still see my knees cave in, and again, it's something that I'm working on, something that I'm trying to you know, progress, and I think that's great. You're not always gonna be perfect unless you're Johnny Candido or Matt Ogres and you have perfect form and everything, but it takes time. Don't get too upset. I hope this video has been kind of informative to show you how I, you know, get into the zone. And if you'll notice here, you know, always approach the bar when you are ready. Don't just kind of rush into it, because then you can throw you off. Focus on each rep as an individual rep instead of just thinking it's like 5 reps. Focus on every single rep being its own thing to give it its own attention, so you can make the best progress and have the best form and be safe. Hope you enjoyed this video, and that's it. Thank you guys. Hit the thumbs up button. I'll see you later. Okay, so check this thing out. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know that my headphones have been breaking. They'll snap, because basically when I put it in here, and however it puts in my pocket, this will snap off. So I've tried like the Jaybirds, wireless things, and those don't fit my ears. I love these ear pods. So actually I reached out to a company called Outdoor Tech Adapt. So this is called OT Adapt. And what this is a wireless, or it's a Bluetooth transmitter. So basically you sync it with your phone, and you plug this in here, and then you can just clip it, like clip it on your shorts. And it's super, super lightweight. So I'm gonna put them down in the description just because they sent it to me. Really cool, and really the quality is fantastic. You lose like a little bit of bass, but not a lot. I think it's like 40 bucks on Amazon. The only thing I wish they would change is this is just like a clip. I wish it was like spring loaded, but other than that, really, really cool. I'm definitely gonna use this for squats. It'll help keep your mind not on your phone, but I like it. I'm gonna use it. No more headphones breaking.